Everybody believes is black inferiority, but these people absolutely positively know that they're not inferior. Segregation is actually about the need for white superiority, social hierarchy, status, and order. It is often used by elites to divide and conquer people by race that have much more in common as humans, i.e. their economic plight. Segregation is just gangster shit. If you ever watch any gangster movies or whatever it is, there's a family and people don't take sides against the family and the other people get shot because they're not a part of the family. And other people get massacred by that family, right? It is the imposition and, again, the constant reification of power. So we talked about chapter 10, but I want to talk just a little bit more about it. In your prompt, you were asked to connect one Depression or New Deal era form of Black activism to the Golden Days counter voices. And I want you to think about this over time as it relates to that scene. Who possesses official authority? Who possesses experiential knowledge? Why does the institution refuse to recognize the veterans' knowledge? And how does Ellison use polyphony or reversal to let marginalized people interpret the powerful, meaning their voices and the disposition of the plot? How does he use that to give them authority? You pointed it out. The specialist has his own authority, right? The woman has his own authority. And many of the ways that they have authority is through their verbal battle. A question as it relates to the Golden Day, what is it? It's a place as defined in the chapter, but it is also for the narrator an inflection point of illumination, which is why it's called the Golden Day. It is the Golden Day because here he receives a particular light that he will see forever, that grows in his mind over time. What does he become enlightened about at the Golden Day? First and foremost, he starts out in the text by saying he failed to recognize the veterans. He fails to recognize the vets as a source of enlightenment and easily writes them off as crazy. This is interesting because this is a continuation. He is also confused by his grandfather's deathbed advice. The grandfather says he was a soldier, a traitor, a spy in a war. The grandfather is a vet. He doesn't recognize the vets. He doesn't recognize his grandfather's advice. He may not recognize himself, especially so because he is an invisible man. And so invisibility now takes on a new dimension. It is not simply the idea that people can't see him. Remember, he starts out, I'm an invisible man because people refuse to see me. He is now enlightened at the Golden Day. Another part of the equation is he might also be invisible because he refuses to see himself. All right, I want to examine some of the text. Take a little bit of time to examine some of the text because Ellison is just super delicious writer. Okay, first and foremost, first paragraph, second sentence, at first I failed to recognize them. Why would he write that? Because the entire chapter is about recognition. We already established that the vets are the vets and his grandfather is a vet, but he's failed to recognize them, although he's been around these vets for some time because he's already been at the Golden Day. In a conversation with Norton, right? Mr. Norton says, right, he's passing one of these folks that are talking to him as they drive up. Who was that man? Mr. Norton gasped from the back seat. A former soldier, sir, a vet. They're all vets. And a little shell shock.